what typically happen in Earth Dimension, glasses wearers, and people who don't wear glasses. It's your girl, Naya. So by the time this is being recorded, the drawing has been uploaded to Instagram and Tumblr as well, because I thought that the Suselle tag was kind of dry, and as someone who draws Suselle fan art, part of that may be my fault. So I don't use Tumblr that much. Okay, that's a lie. Actually, I think I use it just as much as I use Instagram, but I'm definitely like a tourist on there, right? Like, I haven't gone through the Tumblr citizen customs yet. I don't have the card. And in posting this, and it's intended 4:5 ratio, I finally understood how reblog tags work. Yay! So, from what I see, when people reblog your post with new tags, your tags are gone under reblog. So, I always thought the tags just stack atop each other, but they don't. Also, there's just something nice about people complimenting your art in the tags, because it's like, maybe I'm just simple, but it makes me smile. I don't know if it's because like I never made it big on Tumblr, and like sort of unfamiliarity is like exciting to me, or I just never made it big on anything. And look at my YouTube. Just look at my YouTube. Just you get a quick look. Have I made it bigger? So it is an option to comment on your post on Tumblr, where you can see their response and reply accordingly. But I don't know if this is like a Tumblr etiquette thing or if I'm breaking the rules. I've always commented if I had something to say about a post on Tumblr. And the thing about Tumblr is that when you click on a reblog, it doesn't take you to the post right away. It takes you to their account. At least in my experience. So if you're unlucky, the person would have already buried your post under all the other posts that they've posted that day. So you would really have to scroll to see. But when they do tag, it is worth it, because
it makes me smile.
To me, it feels like, rather than being like,
oh, you're so talented, that's so nice,
it feels like showing it to your friends almost, which feels so much more genuine to me for some reason. I don't know, it's like, it's the same thing, but I'm like, it makes me feel good, and that's all I have to say. Also, thank you for your support. Oh, and I conducted an observation, and from what I've gathered from looking at the tags that people tag under my posts, the type of things they say fall under two categories. Either hashtag, ooh, very nice, this looks really cool, I like the art and the colors. And the second type of hashtag is hashtag, God, I'm so lonely and I want a girlfriend. I just want to lay on top of the tummy of a dinosaur. So maybe to a follower who has been following me since YouTube Rewind Week of 2018, then this piece might seem a little familiar to you, and that's because you're not wrong. It's actually a redraw of this drawing right here. Yeah. So even though this drawing has like multiple problems in terms of technical skill, it's still one of my favorites for some reason, and that's why I wanted to redraw it. Another main motivator in redrawing this is that I haven't done a drawn background in a while, if you noticed. Well, no. Literally, like, the post right before this one is the Katy Perry one, which has a drawn background. And 2 posts before that had a drawn background too. But I didn't draw that one. My friend Wick did. So, shout out to that beautiful fella. But yeah, if you noticed that most of my backgrounds, if you could even call them that, are mostly stock images and PNGs that are like photoshopped together, or just straight up actual pictures, or sometimes just like a color. So I was like, let's spice it up. And that's why this drawing was born. Again. You wanna know something? Susie, in my head, has always been more like chubby rather than muscly or toned, at least, which is like a more popular artistic liberty. And I actually like the way that buff Susie looks, but like, I don't know, she never really struck me as the type of person who would bodybuild. That's kind of just always been like the headcanon that I had as to interpret what that 8-bit booger-sized sprite is supposed to be. Now with that in mind, I'm going to show you Naya editing. Pull up that Fried Grass comic. and then the True Heart Attack one, and then the one with the Little Tykes car, the one where I switched their personalities and Susie's like wearing a skirt or something like that. Now, tell me why I drew an anthropomorphic greyhound. Square horse head ass. Yeah, I don't think I knew how to draw other body types, because if you look at the way that I draw everybody else, I was like incredibly consistent. It was almost like applaudable. So I'm glad that changed. So the reason why I like the original so much is mostly because of the vibe that it radiates. It's one of those things that, like, if the drawing made sound, it would sound like this. It would sound like the Life is Strange 1 soundtrack, is what I'm saying.
IDK, lads. It just kind of feels like the end of the night of a sleepover when you've done the painting nails, talk about boys, and then now you're somehow talking about death and or building a hypothetical apartment that you will hypothetically live in with all your college friends. Ooh, woo. I don't know.
I realize that I'm saying all that as if I've been to a sleepover before. Unless you count that time my school took my classroom of 6 girls. Also, yeah, 6 girls. You'd think sleepovers would happen more often in a classroom of 6 girls, but no. Maybe they did have sleepovers, but they just never invited me, or... You know what, that's completely understandable. I respect your decision. But yeah, my school does this thing where they take like the 6th graders, the graduating year, on like a goodbye trip over the course of like a weekend. So unless that counts as a sleepover, well, it was definitely no slumber party, because I don't know what the previous generations did, but with my sister's year, they went to this like dope ass Airbnb thing, and then they did like a barbecue thing and like a fun group project thing. My class was taken to a hotel nearby our school. Granted, it's not a bad hotel. It looked like a hotel. It felt like a hotel. Our fun group activity project was looking at an inspirational PowerPoint presentation that my teacher put together, and doing like a what would you do when you grow up interview thing in like groups of 2. And that was only fun because I was paired with the loudest girl in class, who was also sleep deprived, which contributes to our already nonsensical humor and wild card ex crackhead dynamic. Had I been paired with anybody else, I think the activity might have been monotonous, and the only thing we would have done that day that was actually fun would have been playing with slime. I was also dressed like Alfonso from Star Versus, which isn't really the school's fault, but it does sure add an air of lameness to the whole memory.
But yeah, I never necessarily like sat on the floor of like a pink bedroom and had like a braid train like that scene in Tangled.
To direct the subject back to Undertale.
Undertale fan art is like my favorite type of fan art to look at. I don't know, it's just really fun to look at people's like different styles, like interpreting like the pixel stuff. I guess all cartoon fan art are generally like that, especially with like American cartoons versus a fan artist with a more realistic art style. But Undertale especially, because it's like more indecipherable. Undertale, I don't know, I like it. Aside from the Sans with the blue glowing genitals thing. Oh no! Oh, I mean, I appreciate your artistic endeavors, but Jesus Christ. I mean, you're all very, very talented, and I don't want to discourage figure drawing practice. How did it get to this? I guess I just don't like the way that it makes my brain think too much, because there's just so much lines happening with like all the ribs and the DNA ass like double bone thing that your arm has. It's just a lot of let's change the topic.
I really like how everybody has like a general idea of what each character sounds like. Like we all like collectively hive-mindedly agree on what each character sounds like. I was gonna say it was just Papyrus, like because Papyrus is the most like generally agreed person voice. You listen to how like everybody's Susie is generally like
Fusion is a weak tactic to make weak champs stronger.
and like I mean like my Susie was a little softer because I had to voice her for the rest of the gameplay. It's not recorded. I just played it with my sister. I played Deltarune episode 1 with my sister and we played it for 7 hours and I voiced all the characters and I needed a drink of water right after. While we're on that subject, does anybody want to hear my Lancer voice? Of course you don't. He sounds like Ketchero from the Ghost Stories dub in my head, Lancer. It's like, wait, let me get him.
Ketchero, you're not going to hell. Let me see. Seven. Ho, ho, ho. Don't read this one. It's a secret. Yeah, this was it. This was the voice. It was a lot raspier, but I forgot to do it.
And now I just sound like Sarah Silverman.
Ralph, my man. My main man.
Oh, why am I so amused? Okay. Also, to anyone curious on what Susie sounded like, in the beginning, I thought it would be funny if she was like,
Hi! I'm Susie from Deltarune. You're gonna die, punk!
I thought it would be funny to do that, but I eventually got tired, obviously.
So I eventually went to this voice, which is like sassy, tired child. Sassy, tired child. Speaking of sassy, tired child, I'm tired. So this is the video done. This is the drawing done. Do you like it? You know how I said this drawing is one of my favorite things that I've done? Yeah. This makes the old one look like trash. Oh, I thought the shading was better. My understanding of light source hasn't quite improved, but the blending definitely saves it. So yeah, yippee-ki-yay, that's the ending of the video. I'll play the ending song. I don't have an ending song prepared.